C, it's for cooking. It's good enough for me. Okay, it's not just good enough, it's good. I love me some cooking. Not sure who these people are who think that there's a point beyond which we're too old for milk and cookies before bed. But whoever they are, they're wrong. And when I channel my inner cookie monster, my favorites, without a doubt, are Oreos and black and white cookies, because they're kind of like cakes. They're like mini cakes. When I eat an Oreo, I'm not one to twist it open or doing the half done, whatever all that garbage is. It's perfect the way it is. It's so much greater than the sum of its parts. Why mess with that? And yet, when it comes to black and white cookies, I choose, like the offspring, to keep them separated. I wasn't sure if that was going to go over. Since I prefer the white side to the black, I eat the black first, and I enjoy the white side last. So does that make me a racist? Maybe. Maybe how I eat an Oreo represents a forward-thinking, melting pot-esque, integrationist perspective, while the way I eat a black and white cookie renders me more Strom Thurmond than Rabbi Strom. I don't know. But I do know that I spent a lot less time this week wondering if I'm a white icing supremacist, and a lot more time struggling with the ugliness of real racism. And where was I when I first confronted it? In the Times? The nightly news with Brian Williams? Did I catch The Help on Netflix or Driving Miss Daisy on cable? No. Try the Torah. Try Miriam. Try Aaron. You see, tucked away at the end of the Ha'alotcha, this week's parasha, is an episode many of us choose to look past. Overcome with jealousy for their brother Moses, none other than Miriam and Aaron themselves start talking some serious smack, writing checks with their mouths that their prophetic skills can't quite catch. They spoke against Moses, we read, because of the Cushite woman he had married, exclaiming, "He married a Cushite woman." For speaking out, Miriam is stricken with snow-white scales on her flesh, until Moses intercedes, praying, "El na refana la," "O God, pray, heal her." And she is healed. As the Cushites were dark-skinned Africans, likely from the area now Sudan, what we have here, it seems to me, and many others, is unabashed bigotry. The scales on Miriam's skin, then, are symbolic of a much deeper affliction, that of racism. You might think I'm taking the Torah verses out of context, or stretching them to fit my message here. I'm not. And the proof, unfortunately, lies in Israeli culture today. The same word used derogatively right here in our parasha is exactly the same word used in modern Hebrew as a racial epithet towards immigrants and refugees to Israel from Sudan, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. So Miriam and Aaron may as well have called her the N-word, because for all intents and purposes, that's exactly what they did. And you think we would have learned by now. You'd have hoped things changed over, say, a few thousand years. But if you've been watching what's going on in Israel the last couple of weeks, you know that it hasn't, or not much at least. As the tensions have been rising for years between longtime residents of the poorer neighborhoods of Tel Aviv and the clustering of refugees in those same neighborhoods, racism continues to rear its ugly head again and again. A demonstration from a few weeks ago turned violent. The huddled masses, incited by politicians and speakers, including but not limited to Knesset member Miri Regev, who called the refugees, quote, "a cancer in our body." The result of this demonstration? A mob that smashed windows and attacked bystanders. And it's still going on right now. Earlier this week, 3 African refugees were hospitalized after their apartment was torched, leaving the words, "Get out of the neighborhood," graffitied on the door. This isn't Germany or England. This isn't the former Soviet Union. This isn't Iran or Pakistan. This is Israel. The democracy of the Middle East, the beacon of hope for a troubled region. This is Tel Aviv, the modern, progressive, vibrant symbol of Jewish life. Appalling, horrendous, terrifying are the words that come to mind. But perhaps we're throwing stones across the world from our American glass houses. After all, we're still reeling from the shooting of Trayvon Martin just a few short months ago. Though the story of what actually happened remains unclear to date, what is clear is the fragile nerve it stepped on for so many people on all parts of every socio-political spectrum. What is clear is this: if our country's reactions to Trayvon's killing were some kind of barometer or litmus test on where we stand regarding race relations, I'm afraid we failed. Right here in New York City, we have the NYPD's controversial stop and frisk policy. Some of you may have seen, there was an article this week about, they have an app. Did you see this? They have an app that if you download the app, you can videotape on your phone. You can film, record a frisk going on if you think that it's inappropriate or an abuse. In the stop and frisk policy, 84% of those stopped were black or Latino, though they comprise 23 and 29% of the city population, respectively. The police claim the policy keeps weapons off the streets, but as weapons were recovered in only 1% of these stops, we have the obligation to ask if something else is at play here. To add, I don't know where I personally stand on that and other things. But I do know that we have to ask those questions and have to have those conversations that everybody seems to want to avoid. So what do we do? The honest answer is, I don't know. But perhaps the beginning of an answer lies in the same section of this week's Torah portion. Defending Moses to his brother and sister, God says to them, "When prophets of the Eternal arise among you, I make myself known to them in a vision. I speak with them in a dream. Not so with my servant Moses. He is trusted throughout my household. With him I speak directly, mouth to mouth, face to face, panim el panim. And Moses beholds the likeness of the Eternal." Perhaps that's the key. When we see the person in front of us as a living, breathing person with hopes and thoughts and dreams all their own, with whom we can speak directly, face to face, and not picturing them as an image or a vision or something other than a human being, least of all a statistic, it's then that we can find holiness, a spark of the divine within, in everyone, completely irrespective of the color of their skin. Then, and only then, will we be healed of the affliction of racism, just as Miriam was healed of the scales on her skin. So we pray, Elna Rifana Lanu. Oh God, pray, heal us. Amen.